You're on, Jeaner.
I know, I had a cough. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Paranormal Talk with David and Eugene.
Beyond Paranormal Talk, Gene.
Sorry. Sorry.
Gene's first introduction. Hey, everybody, how y'all tonight? Dave here with Gene. We have a pretty interesting show tonight with you, but we're going to be dabbling in Bigfoot and other cryptids in Minnesota and probably end the night with some aliens and maybe a little bit of paranormal talk. We'll see how the night goes. So, Gene, how was your weekend? Was it pretty interesting?
Not really per se, just working around the house mainly, mostly.
Right on. So you're up here, what, a couple weekends ago?
Last weekend.
Were you up here last Saturday? Oh, yeah, you were up here last Saturday. Jeez, the time flies.
I don't know. It's only been 7 days.
So, Gene, what's your thoughts on Bigfoot in Minnesota?
Well, I've did a lot of research, seen a lot of things about it. Never seen them firsthand, obviously, because I live in Southwest Minnesota, so there's not many.
There's too many cornfields out there. And just an update, everybody. Gene is just starting to dabble into the big stuff, Bigfoot stuff, but I'm just introducing him to this side. So they get him more. He's more into the paranormal stuff and the UFO stuff, but we're trying to work him into more crypto. So cryptic, I said crypto. But we are gonna probably take a little bit today, just go through the basics of what Bigfoot is and sightings and if anybody out there has any questions or anything they want to add to it, sure, put it in. And I guess Gene's smoking a cigarette on the air. Jeter, you can't do that.
It's out. Okay, fine.
That's funny. So anyway, it's a laid back show, Gene, so I really don't care if you have a smoke. It's just beyond paranormal talk, so we're pretty well free aired here. So Gene, so tell me about your research. What did you all find out about Bigfoot?
Well, let me pull up it on my old phone here because I do a lot of my research. I found that there was stupid cell phones. Give me a minute, peoples.
Does anybody out there in internet land have any interesting Bigfoot stories you'd like to share with us? Post it and we'll get it up here and we'll talk about it. Or even let me know. I'll get you on the show. Just email me at ghosthuntersminnesota@gmail.com.
Well, there's been how many counties had like 72 Bigfoot sightings?
The biggest one being in St. Louis with 21 sightings from 1973 to 2020.
2023, I think.
Well,
no, 2020. Yeah.
But I got was 2020.
Yeah, that's 2020.
And Reamer being the big part of the home of Bigfoot. So why do you think that he's attracted more up to Reamer, Minnesota? What makes Reamer, Minnesota more unique?
Probably more woods and lakes, I'm assuming, because you got
more play. Yeah.
There's Walker's not that far from Reamer.
Hundreds of acres of state land out there too, so plenty of places to hide.
Yep.
Do you wonder why there's never no real good images of Bigfoot ever caught? It's always blurred or stuff like that. That it's just never solid evidence.
Right, because what I think about him, he's just he's as scared as us as we are of him because we don't know, and he never gets within feet of us.
Yeah, and he only attacks or anything when he thinks he's being attacked himself. I don't think there was
when he's being threatened.
Yeah, I don't think there was any encounters that he actually attacked or Bigfoot attacked anybody due to that. It's just that you're in his territory, and it happens. It's like any animal. You get in their territory, they get pissed off, basically.
They get scared and irritated.
So now back to the thing now. So you think that the reason why why do you think there are always all these images of Bigfoot are always blurred? They're always 900 miles away. It seems like. What are your thoughts on why there isn't why all these trail cameras nowadays? People have these things everywhere. Why don't you think there's anybody catch a good footage of that?
To be honest, excuse me. It could be the lighting. It's a number of things, really.
Yeah.
It could boil it down, or it could just be, in my personal opinion. I know that he's got to be out there, but in my opinion, people are just dressed up as him, and they're like way off in the distance to make it blurry. And
so you say there's probably more fake photos out there than there is actually real ones?
That's what I think. I could be
then
wrong.
My second question to that part is that Bigfoot's hairy, correct?
Correct.
They find all these nests, correct, that they say is Bigfoot nests. I'm not trying to be skeptic. I'm not trying to be any of that. I'm just questioning the obvious that a normal person would ask and normal thinking. With all these nests, wouldn't you think there'd be a hair
You would think there would be
or something? And with the today's advanced technologies that they didn't discover these hairs, that they didn't figure out doing DNA mapping with all that stuff. It's just a thought. I mean, this is like I would go talk to
that's a really good thought, because I think the same thing.
I would go talk to my dad. My dad would tell me I'm crazy talking about Bigfoot, because my dad's more down to earth, centered, that this is baloney, that aliens are not real, and I'm a crazy man. That's my dad.
Yes, that is.
But see, then he's also the one that would ask, okay, so he watches all these shows where they say they find all these nests and all that. But we all know TV's dramatized. It's not real. They make it so it's interesting. So you stay there and you watch it. But you watch all these shows, they find all these nests. So you would think, since he's a hairy person or a hairy being, why don't they try to find a hair?
Well, exactly. You'd think he would shed just like any other normal hairy.
God, I lose hair all the time. So you would think that a Bigfoot. And now the other question, Bigfoot. So Bigfoot's been spotted for hundreds of years been spotted. So obviously it can't be the same Bigfoot that's been spotted over the years. It's got to be a different one. So apparently there's more than one, because you can't tell me that it can live 500 years. It's just impossible, unless it's a tortoise that lives freaking how many hundreds of years. But so you got it. So with that in mind, so there's more than one. So you would think if there's more than one, there is a colony of them.
You would think.
So what are your thoughts on, is everybody in each state that has their own cryptic seeing the same cryptic, or are they seeing different cryptics over the years?
Oh, they're seeing different, because you can't tell me that the Bigfoot, like here in Minnesota, in one night is all the way in I'll just say Kentucky the following night. There's no way. You can't walk from Minnesota to Kentucky in one night. You just can't do it.
Well, if he runs really fast.
But then again, he can.
But you have all these thermal imagings, all these satellites up in space that can see hot spots and signatures all over the world that can tell you what a thing is out in the middle of nowhere. Wouldn't you think that they could decide and say, hey, there's an image of a very tall creature in Minnesota that does not look like any other creature or like a bear, but it's coming up on this imaging from space, from the satellite? You would think they'd be able to see that kind of stuff. I'm pretty sure he's not invisible.
No, he's not. If you stand 6-7 feet tall and full of hair, you can't be invisible. Ain't no way.
It'd be kind of hard to miss.
Right. But it's like I just don't understand the Bigfoot situation, because,
well, you have so many sightings. I believe you have real ones, and I believe there's a lot of fake ones. I believe there's probably 100 fake ones to every one real photo. But 99% of all, actually, I have not seen a clear photo of Bigfoot, but Everybody has phones. Everybody's got these trail cams up everywhere. There's multiple hundreds of ways to see to have capture this. But over the last 100 years, technology massively changed, and
Yeah.
there still isn't no confirmed sighting of Bigfoot. There's a lot of fakes, a lot of hoax.
Right. That's.
I've never personally had any experience with Bigfoot of personally seeing them. Never
No,
had that. But
Nope.
I have friends that tell me about their experiences, about the knocks they hear, about the heavy breathing outside their tents. Walking the trails up in northern Minnesota, having that feeling being watched. You know, like something's actually watching you.
I mean, I feel that down here in Southwest Minnesota when I go to Camden State Park, but that could be any number of things that could be watching me down there.
That is true. I could be watching you, Gene.
I would not be surprised.
Hey, Jess, can you explain what you mean by what the redwoods? What about the redwoods a little bit?
Yeah, you're talking about Redwood Falls.
I don't think it's talking about Redwood Falls, but you want to come talk about that a little more, what you mean, so we have a clue. Like I said, Gene's new, so I'm trying to start him off a little slow. But if you can connobulate on that, I can't even speak. I said collabinate.
Collabinate. What's a collabinate?
I don't freaking know. It's Davey talk.
Yeah, but I don't even know Davey talking. I've known Davey for years.
So, what would you do if you ever seen a Bigfoot, Gene? What would be your first idea going through your head? First thing. Oh, the redwood forest. Have you seen many? I've heard of some, but not a lot. But again, I'm mostly in. I don't know too much about that. God damn cat. Sorry, squirrel.
Squirrel moment, Davey. Squirrel.
Yeah.
Moment.
Well, my cat's getting into something again. But anyway, like I said, on the redwood forest, I'm not too sure. I haven't heard a whole lot, but I've heard there was some. Have you heard anything, Jess? And any sightings, or have you been up there or there? That is something I plan on doing this summer, is getting out to do a Bigfoot investigation for the first time. So stay tuned on that. Me and Gene in the woods, and him probably screaming like a little girl.
Nope. Nope.
It'd probably be the other way around, me screaming like a little girl.
Exactly.
I just gotta be faster than you, Gene. I just gotta trip you.
You ain't gotta worry about tripping me. I am.
So, any other cryptids in Minnesota you want to chat about, Gene? How about the Wendigo?
Yeah, I was just gonna say Wendigo. I've not really dabbled much into the
Ojibwe Wendigo means evil spirit.
The origin or anything of the Wendigo.
Because he's trying to Google it right now.
Actually, I've got it on my phone right now, Davey. I'm one step ahead of you.
Give me 1 minute. I'm just reading here what Jess wrote.
No, that's fine. Give me 1 minute because I'm trying to figure out more stuff to talk about the Wendigo.
Well, that's very interesting, Jess. Where was this at? No silence, Jeaner. Chat.
No, I'm reading what she's trying to say, okay? Good Lord.
That sounds like a deal there, Jess. Possibly. Sometime this summer, we're planning on a trip, so we'll have to email us, and we'll get something set up. You're more than welcome to come with.
I don't got time.
So it'll just be me and Gene out there screaming. Just so joking.
You'll be screaming. I'll be holding my phone.
We'll be good. We'll be good. We promise. Gene will just probably be crying like a little girl, but we're good. We're good.
In a fetal position with my thumb in my mouth.
But give us an email at ghosthuntersmn at Gmail. Apparently, I can't talk and then we'll get something set up. Oh, that ain't too far away. Belle Plaine.
No.
Yeah, we're up here in Brainerd, so we could get
you're in
something set
Brainerd.
up. Just give us an email. Brainerd, Jeaner.
You live in Brainerd. I don't.
I know I live in Brainerd.
I don't live in Brainerd yet.
So moving on, Gene.
When to go?
I heard they're pretty freaky.
Ain't that freaky? I've seen freakier.
Have you seen my ex-wife? That's funny. That's from a movie.
I know.
I can't think what movie it's from right off the top of my head, though.
No. When to go? At United States and Canada.
So they serve as a thing of greed and isolation, symbol of the moral consequences of selflessness, gluttony, and the breakdown of humanity.
And it is there to eat other humans, apparently.
Yep. Oh, nice, Jess. Were you up here for any particular reason? So, Gene,
I should do more research on this.
you probably should have. So, Gene, so you want to skip over to the Minnesota Iceman?
I haven't even done research on the Minnesota Iceman.
Dude, you suck.
You do this stuff last minute.
Well, I can't help it. It's a cryptic. It was in 1960s. It was found in Siberia and it was brought to Minnesota. It was a show man, whatever, who claimed found it creature in the frozen ice in Minnesota. It was mostly considered a hoax and it disappeared in 1970. Crap, I'm typing stuff and I don't even know what I'm doing.
That's typical, Davey.
Yeah, I break stuff. I don't know what I did now. What did I do? My computer's going all wacky. There we go. So, well, Gene, let's cut away from Bigfoot for a little bit. Let's cut into paranormal. Let's get you a little bit more on a comfortable subject. You want to tell people about your first paranormal experience?
Which one?
Well, the very first one you had. We'll cut off from the beyond paranormal and get to the paranormal for a little bit.
Well, I think the first one I ever encountered was when I lived with you out on the farm.
Yeah, well, tell everybody about that.
Was dating my daughter's mom at the time. We went and got groceries, a bunch of groceries. We were going to go upstairs because that was the only place that had a shower. Dog went up, yiped, ran down the stairs, tail between his legs, and we just never kind of sort of
came back.
We kind of
I
sort
come
of
home and fridge is full, cupboards are full, Gene's gone.
Pretty much. I don't think I ever came back that.
No, you came back. You came back to get your stuff, but I don't think you guys moved back in again for like at least a month because you moved back in with your dad or some crap.
Yeah, then that went south in a hurry, but that's not for this podcast.
And then you guys moved back in after that. So
then never really had any paranormal experience after that. So.
Well, you did too.
Except
about
when we went to Timberlake Road, but that's
Timberlake Road and Brent's experience. Remember that one where he took damn, he ran into a tree.
No, and he tripped over a freaking headstone.
Well, we told him to watch where he was going.
He had a flashlight.
I'm scared.
That was all because the temperature dropped, 30 degrees within like a second?
Well, it was because he hit a cold spot, which I think it was just the thermometer being stupid that night.
No, there was a cold spot there.
So let's move from paranormal, move to alien. Talk about alien for a bit. Have you ever been abducted, Gene, or have you ever thought you've been abducted?
Not that I'm aware of. But then
Don't
again,
know.
when I'm sleeping, I have no idea if it's a dream or if it's
Did you
real.
ever see some weird stuff in the skies?
Back when I was like 9 or 10,
Did he
back
touch
home
your butt?
over the golf course.
Yeah, we touched bases with that the other day.
Yes, we did. That's about the only thing I've seen, minus the.
Of haunted locations in Minnesota, any place particular you want to go, and why?
Try to think of a haunted place in Minnesota.
We can talk about our first experience at the Lamberton Cemetery. Remember the recordings of the babies and they calling my ex-wife's name and
And then, yes, I remember that. And then someone
see,
asking
I'm
me,
kind
"Hey,
of
Gene,
debating
how you
though.
doing?"
To this day though, I still question those recordings on that digital recorder. I still have it. I bought it from a shop that dealt with, I'm not going to say no names, that sold that stuff. They're still doing it today, but I just think they doctored the recording stuff. This is why I do not like digital recorders, especially bought from a other source in like Walmart or non ghost equipment thing, because I just don't trust them. Because some ways I think that because it was bought underneath her name by my wife at the time, it was bought underneath her name, and it said that during a recording session, EVP session, it said, "Are you Kara?" And then a baby cried a bunch of times on that. I don't know, because then on my other recordings that I personally bought like at Walmart back in 1999, 2000, whatever, in that general region, it never caught none of that stuff, and they were sitting right next to each other that day that we were doing that EVP session at the cemetery. So it makes me question these equipment builders, because when they try to get you to come back, it's like, hey, that equipment made results, so hey, that has to be good, they have to have good stuff, so I'm going to keep buying it from them. But to this day, and that was over 20 years ago, I question that recording.
Well, now can you explain the one where it said my name and how are you doing?
Yeah, yours, because that was on my other stuff. That was on the other equipment that wasn't bought through this company that was new at the time. But I
swore that was on the same.
No, it wasn't on that one. It was on my Walmart special little tape deck recorder. But see, I just don't know. I actually, when all this stuff first happened, when we got that stuff in the late 90s, early 2000s, I never questioned it. Like, I never thought about it that hard. But then when I went back a couple years later, now probably 10 years ago here, and I took the original footage from that one, or the EVP recordings from that one, and the EVP recordings from the other one that I had that I personally owned that had nothing to do with ghost hunting and stuff, it didn't catch the same stuff. And they were both digital. And this is when digital and analog were fighting at each other at the time. But these two were both digital. Well, no, I take that back. The tape deck one wasn't. The other one was digital. So I don't know if they implanted that stuff into the digital, because I know you can. There's ways to do it.
Well, sorry. I didn't think they would do something that freaking horrible, but.
Yep, that's very true. Back then, ghost hunting was new. It wasn't new. People were doing it because of TV and all that. It started getting bigger. But I just question a lot of equipment nowadays because of that experience and thought that I had. Because that equipment was bought underneath my ex-wife's name, and all of a sudden her name showed up in it, and nobody in that cemetery was even relatively related to her that was buried there.
No.
And there was reports of stuff happening there. There was never reports of baby crying and stuff like that, but there was reports of a ghost or somebody seeing somebody that wasn't there. So I do question equipment. This is why I usually try to stick to my stuff instead of the stuff that you buy, because I don't trust it. And if I can build it, or if I can use my phone and use that stuff, I find it more accurate and scientific way more, because I have control of where this came from and what it's doing.
Yeah, agreed.
And it's just like these voice boxes or ghost boxes they call. that scan radio waves and all that. Yes, we use them. We use them on maps. We use them on our investigations and stuff. But there's when you go through everything, you can, when we're live and stuff, we can't tell if it's true, if it's not, or if it's just static, or if it's another radio station that's words are coming in, or it's just a coincidence at that time that word's coming in that you ask. That's why you go back and do old school. You do your crap, you run it through your computer, you check everything out, you check all the radio stations that were on that night, you see what was being played, what was on, and then you cross-check everything.
Yeah, I'm new to this, so I'll have to start getting back into all that cross-checking.
Well, you're new to the new technology. You're not new to the old, and that's very true, Jess. I don't disclaim the EVP stuff. I just don't trust the stuff that you buy from one of these commercial shops. I trust buying my equipment from stuff, or making it, or buying my recorders for EVP and stuff from companies that have nothing to do with ghost hunting. This way I know the stuff's accurate, that it's, if my name appears on there for some reason, it has no reason to be that, hey, I bought this from the shop, and they know my name and they digitally embedded it into the recording.
So what would be a good place to get some of this stuff? So if I can want to do it down here.
Well, just find a recording. Just go Walmart. They sell their digital recorders there.
Well, like I said, you're up there. I'm down here.
Here you come. I can travel. I'm planning on doing an investigation down there at the farm too. This summer.
Yeah. Well, I know there's a place down by Clements I wouldn't mind seeing this summer.
Hey, Jess, what do you mean you just zapped there as I was typing? I'm a reader. But that's the stuff that I think about more, because when we first started maps, I was more, yeah, let's do this. Let's find evidence. Now I'm trying to get into more of the scientific side. I want to find answers to what's going on, not just say, hey, we saw a ghost or we heard something. Woohoo.
Yeah, I got to figure out where it's coming from, why it's there.
Okay, I understand that, Jess. The brain and eyes connect in memory. Okay, so what are you seeing? So, Jeaner, what's your thoughts on all this stuff? We'll get you into the conversation, because you're just sitting there going, duh.
I can do that right now because I'm still lost. I'm still new to this.
That's part of life. Well, you haven't investigated, what, 10 years, 12?
No longer than that.
Yeah, my freaking internet is so crappy tonight, Jess, so I do apologize for that.
Get better internet.
What's that, Jeaner?
Get better internet.
Well, yeah, I can't help it. I'm like in plumb F nowhere. My internet options are limited.
True, you live in the middle of nowhere.
At least I got a racetrack by me that I've never been to yet.
Well, maybe if I come up there and we do some investigation this weekend, maybe we'll take you to the racetrack. How's that sound?
That's every Saturday night. So so Gene, any other investigation stuff you want to talk about? Ghost hunting?
Like places I like to go to, check out.
Yeah. Send it over to us, Jess. We'll be interested to take a look at it, check it out.
Well, I know there's a place down by Clements or Rowena or whatever it's called.
Yeah, the Axe Murder House.
Yeah, I'd like to check that out if you are willing to travel for that.
I ain't worried. Yeah, I've heard of it. That'd be something to check out this summer.
I don't know of any other places around. I don't know if
Well, there's a lot of them.
Maybe Native Americans down by Redwood.
That's correct, Jess. River water is a high continuity or whatever you want to say for paranormal activity, conductor. There's a lot of stuff. We are looking for places to investigate this summer. We have openings this year, so we're looking for something Wisconsin, Iowa, North Dakota, South Dakota. We have one out in Kentucky in August. We got some Paracons coming up. Don't forget my book. I got a bunch of them out on Amazon, so they're a great read. Check them out. Gene comes up here again. We're going to be doing, when he comes up, a Ouija board session live, so we haven't done one of them for a long time. Pretty funny where you can buy the freaking Ouija board. I found it at Target. The Conduit to the Undead. You can buy it at Target for $19.99.
You can buy them anywhere. That's exactly.
Yeah, we do that all the time. For any investigation, we cleanse in sage before and after we leave, and we say a prayer. I have a blessed tattoo on my back of a cross that protects me from anything, basically. So we're good.
You are.
Gene don't have nothing.
I have a tattoo, but not that.
That'll be isn't that the St. Clown Posse?
Yes.
You're that old, Gene. Jesus.
It's 23 years old, Davey. 23 years old.
Nice. Well, I don't feel bad. I didn't get for my first tattoo until I was 35. But now, like they say, tattoos are freaking addicting. You get one, you always want them. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I still got one. Just one.
So I guess, Gene, we're gonna end her tonight. We're gonna have a short night tonight. I'll get Gene more prepared next time. But come join us again Thursday night on My Paranormal Life. We have a cool guest going to be on with us, and Gene's going to be there, and I will have more information for him, so we have a little bit more to talk about.
Yes. That would be nice.
Because, like I said, this cryptid stuff beyond paranormal is a new thing for Gene. He's never done it before, so I'm going to keep tonight's podcast short since it's more of a new thing for him. But Beyond Paranormal is going to keep going. We're going to have a lot more interesting stuff, and I promise I'll have them more prepared next time. We do have a lot of cool guests coming up on the next couple of episodes. Amy will be returning from Canada. Give me a minute. I'll find the date. On the 13th of June. That's definitely one you don't want to miss. She's pretty freaking cool. So everybody have a great night. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you later.
See ya, guys.